My name is Dallas Taylor,
My name is Chase Telford.
and we're going to be showing you 6 basic moves to wrestling that every wrestler needs to know.
Alright, the first thing that we're going to go over today is going to be on our feet. We're going to talk about an inside single leg. And so we're going to show the move, and then after we'll talk about the key points that help make the move effective. So we're going to use a setup. We're going to bring the leg over, and then take a good shot. And so bring the leg over, penetrate down here, and drop to his ankle, and come up. And turn this way. So once you get the leg up, like right here, we're going to elevate his ankle and bring it into my chest. That way he's uncomfortable and it's putting him back on his hips, and we're going to take him down. You can grab right here and just swivel it to the ground and then cover hips. And so again, one more time, the part that makes that single leg effective is to change levels and get your head in that hip. And so that's the key points, is changing levels and getting your head in there.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you counter to the head inside. So he's in here. Now what you want to do is you want to put your hips down to the mat. So after you do that, you want to bring this hand in around, and we call this a whizzer. And now once you have the whizzer, get it nice and get it so your elbow is right there underneath his arm, and then push his head down and just back on out. Now the 3 key points is the hip pressure, the deepness of the whizzer, and then the pressure of the head. Alright, what I'm going to be showing you is the head outside single, and now I'm going to show it first, and I'm going to go over the 3 key points. Okay, so 3 key points is make sure you have a dot, and so you step close to his foot. Another key point is to get in and wrap around the calf. And then the 3rd key point is keep your head high. So, once more in fast motion.
Alright, and then a counter to the outside leg single. Just like before, you got your head, your hands, and your hips. And so if he's in on an outside leg single, if you get in there, he's already got past my head and my hands, he's in on my hips. So the first thing that you got to do is get your hips out. And so wherever you dig under the head, or you just lock in here to the front headlock, you got to get your hips out, and you can either dig for a cross face and put your hips into it and straighten your leg out, or you go to a front headlock. But the easiest is just cross face, put your hips into them, come out, and go around and score. So those key points would be get your hips out, that pressure, and then turn and score. Alright, we're going to move on into top and bottom wrestling. The first thing we'll go over is a breakdown, and then we'll go into a stand-up. And so Dallas is in a referee's position here. And so we're going to show how to break the guy down. And a lot of kids just sit back and put their head down like this and wait for the whistle to blow. But the easiest way to get a jump off the whistle is be looking right at the ref, and when he blows the whistle, go ahead and chop and knee him right in the butt. And so that's what we're going to demonstrate. So we're going to be watching the ref, and when he blows that whistle, you chop and just knee them right in the butt and break them all the way down to their hips. And so one more time at full speed. Be watching for the ref, chop and knee him right in the butt. And then you're going into an arm bar or whatever. So those key points would be watching and knee in the butt and chop hard.
Is stand up. So it's a move from the bottom. So as soon as he gets on, you're watching the ref. As soon as the ref blows his whistle, the first thing you want to do is pretend there's a chain connected from your elbow to your knee. You want to clear that as much as you can. Then next you want to bring it inside your hand and catch the hand. And then you want to turn your hips and twist inside, and then hip pressure out and get out. So the key points to that is make sure that there's a chain connected from your elbow to your knee. And then once you do that, another key point is to catch that hand on the inside. And the 3rd key point, make sure you have good back pressure and hip pressure to get out. And that's the stand-up.
The next thing we're going to go over is called a cradle. So once we got Dallas broke down on his hips, we're going to look to score. And so we're going to put in a cradle. And so if Dallas is finding this pretty hard down here, like most guys do, And so as he comes up, we're gonna reach over our head right here, put our head in his ribs, and start digging for that cradle to lock our hands up. And then you take them right over and pin them. And so those key points would be to grab this part of the head. Instead of down here, you got a lot more leverage. Get your head in the side and grab right behind the knee and just roll them up. Lock up the hands and take them over easy. So one more time in full speed. Now speed wrestling. Again. And that's a cradle.
What we're going to show you here is a half. Now, what I like to do, like the spiral, as you spiral, you have this hand right here. And once you have this hand, keep the head pressure. So after you spiral, come up, head pressure, put your hand on top of the head, and then grab this hand and block it. You can either go on top or underneath, but I like on top. So now what you do is you slowly work your way over so you don't get too high. And as you come here, what you want to do is you want to suck up the head and bring him up so his scapular touch. Now, 3 key points in this is after you break down, keep this arm and go to the head. Make sure you go to the top of the head, not to the neck. And as you do this, what you want to do is you want to suck him down. That's another key point. Is suck him down, not to go too far over or too fast. And the 3rd key point is after you've got him on his back, to suck up the head. And that's the half.
Okay, the next thing we're going to go over, you see Dallas has got a leg ride in, and so we're going to work on getting out of a leg ride. So first thing with the leg ride is try not to let them get in on it, but once they do get in on it, they're going to be working on your hips and trying to break you down flat so they can score some back points. And so the first thing you got to do is get them off where they are and put them on his hip. So I'm going to do kind of a mule kick and then just sit to my hip. And so in full speed, it kind of looks like this. You do a mule kick and sit. And once you get to here, you're digging for this because he's going to be trying to lock around my arms and stuff. But just keep scooting into him. And once you get here, you can either turn and score or you just try to get out and he's going to be scrambling. But the key point is just to get that leg out. And so a few key things would be to do that mule kick and then sit to your hip. So he's got this in, mule kick, sit to my hip, and then be digging for this ankle. That's how you get out of it.
What I'm going to show you now is a cheap hip tilt. So what you do, instead of rounding forward, you chop that arm right there at the hip, at the crest, and then you grab the wrist. You like to grab either the wrist or the hand. And what you do is you bring this hand through, lock on top, and you bring this knee, and you kind of knee his knee, and you sit him to your hip. And once you sit him up, then kind of elevate this hand, and put your leg there. So now the 3 key points is to catch the wrist, to have good hand control, sit him on your hip, and then the leg high. So once more in fast motion. And that is the cheap hip tilt.
Alright, well those are some of the basic moves to wrestling. Every wrestler should know those, and these are the ways that we showed them. There's other ways to do them, but those are some basic moves that every wrestler should know.